The letter says, "Dear Simon," oops, not that Simon. No, thank you. No, not you. Hello, IELTS writers. Welcome to IELTS Juice. Let's focus on IELTS General Training module and assess a letter today. The prompt says, you recently received a letter from a friend asking for advice about whether to go to college or to try to get a job. Okay, so, do I need to say that this is a friendly letter? It's obvious. So we are going to write a letter to a friend in response to a letter that they already sent us. You think he or she should get a job. Okay. Write a letter to this friend. In your letter, say why he or she wouldn't enjoy going to college. So first, we need to say the disadvantages of going to college and tell them that he wouldn't enjoy actually being there. And the next bullet point, we are going to explain why getting a job is a good idea for him or her. Now we're going to focus on the advantages of getting a job at this point in his life or her life, and then suggest types of job that would be suitable for him or her. Okay, and then we need to go deeper. So the type of job that we suggest are going to be A, B, or maybe just A, but we need to explain the reasons why. But basically, we need to suggest types of job here. So let's see. The letter says, "Dear Simon," oops, not that Simon. No, thank you. No, not you, not you. It's another Simon. I am writing you regarding your question. Okay. We're writing a letter to a friend. Do we really start a letter like this? I am writing to you regarding. Shouldn't we just, this is a letter like, hey, I hope this letter finds you well. Like, and I hope you're having a wonderful time. Things like that. That's a friendly letter. It feels, the very first element feels like I'm writing a letter to the manager of an organization. Dear manager, I am writing this letter regarding the problem I had with my X257-4 TV, OLED TV that I recently purchased from your reputable branch at blah, 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 blah. That's formal. We need a lighter tone here. So the first sentence is not very friendly, not in a bad way. It is very formal. It shouldn't be, it's too formal. Your question whether you should go to college or it would be better to find a job. Okay. Another interesting thing, guys, we are writing a letter in response to another letter that we've received previously. So the introduction shouldn't be any longer than this, because the both people on the sender and the receiver, both of them know what the topic is and what they are talking about. As I know you very well, as my intimate friend. Do you speak like this with your intimate friend? Imagine your closest friend, your best friend, and imagine they just pick up the phone and they just say, hello, I don't know, Jack, Max, I don't know, whatever name. I am calling you regarding the game I left at your house. That's weird. That's really weird. I would say that because you had a lack of financial resources to support yourself during education at high school, huh? The sentence ended. I'm left without more information, without any more information. As I know you very well as my intimate friend, I would say that because you had lack of financial resources to support yourself during education at high school, you needed my advice. Something like that. I mean, this part, this part. We are talking about a complex structure which has half of the elements, but the other half is missing. Or maybe the way you would say, I would say that maybe it's not that, maybe it's just I would say so because you had lack of financial. You see, guys, you are witnessing the actual event that an examiner will struggle with our messages. I cannot understand what the writer really wanted to tell me, and I cannot correct it right now because there are multiple variations to correct, and I really don't know how to correct it. So this kind of error, to me, is a grammar error, is affecting my understanding of the writer's message. And this means you can simply see here, and this means this part of the letter is not doing its job to be a very good representative of the writer. So the part of it is lost. If you go for getting a job, a little weird. It's correct. Technically it's correct, but it's weird. If you go for getting a job, go for it. Go, boy, go. You can do it. That's a little weird. It will be a better option. Fair. This is good. And it's a correct use of first conditional sentence. Like, it's a real scenario. If you decide to get a job, then you will have a better option. Then you will have a better life. That's a very accurate use of first conditional sentence. The cost of education at college would be higher than it was at high school. At school, sorry. Although high school wouldn't be a wrong word, well, it's enough. For that reason, you would have to work round the clock. I like it. Round the clock or around the clock, both are fine. In order to save money to spend on the cost of college later. As a result, you would suffer from this pressure, which will apply to you. Okay, the pressure apply. Yeah, you apply pressure, not physical pressure here, but financial pressure. Again, it's fine. This is all are okay. I get the message. One thing is that I don't see better development. Yes, there's the cost issue. Of course, it's higher. Then you have to work hard to pay the tuition fee. I understand, but maybe we could use some numbers or some examples. I see it's been sentence after sentence explaining the same concept to me. Not bad, but it could be deeper. So I could use more development here. Regarding, again, I mean, very formal. When you talk to your friend, you can say, now moving on to the reasons, or you just simply say, as for the reasons, let me tell you. Now let's turn our attention to reasons. The reason, not the reasons, sorry, it's going to be just one reason. It's okay. I mean, the IELTS rubric doesn't tell us to be very specific about more than one reason. Explain why getting a job is a good idea for him or her. In this case, for him, for Simon. Regarding the reason why I emphasize that finding a job is a good option, or I insist on finding a job, that's how you use the word, I would say that you could save money. This saving would relieve your mind and stress, would relieve your mind from the stress of, that's better, relieve your mind from the stress of facing financial problems in the future. That's much better. Why? Check how the word relieve is used. Look it up in your dictionaries. It would lead you to having a great of time for studying later at college. We are still on the subject of money. We used money in the first paragraph, and we still use money for the second paragraph. So going back to my initial understanding, the disadvantage of college is money. The advantage of finding a job is also money. Now, I am an IELTS examiner. I look at it. I understand. It's logical. Both are valid points. But at the same time, I have this little thought in the back of my head that the writer's range of vocabulary and grammar is limited. And that's why we talked about money in both scenarios, or in both paragraphs, or for both bullet points. And the words weren't that different from each other. I didn't see a wide range of vocabulary. So now in my head, I am limiting the scores for vocabulary and grammar because I see repetition. Is it a good or bad practice? It's a neutral practice, so don't worry about it. But at the same time, it shows a lack of range and the lack of control. Apart from this? No, apart from this. This is all one word. This is not good. You know, because a part is also a word. I mean, they are two words. They make sense. They don't make sense here, but apart makes sense, and it's not written like that. This tiny little space here is affecting your coherence cohesion score. You might have concerns about finding a decent job. I like that. Find a decent job. This is a very good collocation. So I could assure you that it would be easy for you to find it. I have two things to say. Number one, so in the meaning of therefore, in writing generally is not a good option. That meaning of so is spoken. So try to use therefore instead. So I could assure you that it kind of acts as an attention grabber. This is suitable for spoken English, and it's informal. The informal part is fine because we're writing a friendly, informal letter here. So this is suitable for this context, but at the same time, it is suitable for spoken English, not written English. So this makes this connector not suitable for writing, and this is also going to affect coherence and cohesion. I could assure you that it would be easy for you to find it. I could assure you that it would be easy for you to find it. Now I need to see if which it is it. That it finding a job would be easy for you, or the fact that you act in order to find a decent job. This one is going to be to find a decent job. It would be easy. The whole concept would be easy for you to find a decent job. But using double it in one small section of a sentence is not very natural. You would work as a translator. Okay, you could work as a translator at a hotel receptionist, at a hotel reception desk, because receptionist is an individual, reception is a place or a department, and do we need translators at the reception? We usually, I mean, we think the receptionists are capable of speaking 2-3 languages. So by default, they're fine. They don't need a translator. I'm a little confused, but that may happen. So it's not an error. Because you can speak 3 languages, good for him. Turkish and French as well as Persian would be perfect. Okay, are these the 3 languages that Simon speaks? Or Simon needs to start learning them so that it would be perfect? If he already knows these 3 languages, then why we use would? Why it's imaginary? Or it would be fine and it would be perfect? Plus, why do we have a full stop here? If these 3 languages are exactly these 3 languages, I needed a stronger sentence structure. This doesn't exactly tell me that these 3 languages are the 3 languages that Simon knows. But I'm going to assume that and continue. In addition to this, you could teach at different institutes as a senior teacher. Good. Yeah. Nice. As a senior teacher, we're talking about an Simon who is in the ages between high school and college and decides to go and is all of a sudden a senior teacher. Maybe the guy is a genius. It happens. I cannot question that. As you have experienced this job as a part-time job, okay, it was lucrative. I am a teacher, guys, but I can assure you it's not a lucrative business. It is a rewarding business. It has a lot to offer, but it's anything but lucrative. And now it would, I need a comma here. And now it would be great to attain as a full-time job. Okay. Attain a full-time job, not the best collocation, but yeah. I am waiting to hear from your decision. I am waiting to hear from your decision. Okay, all the best. 269 words. Let's look at the band descriptors. Okay. Yeah. Yes, all the elements, all the bullet points were addressed. They were developed, but the tone was not consistent. I picked up a couple of too formal words or structures or phrases for the response, and in 1 or 2 instances I needed more development. And coherence and cohesion is basically fine. I understood the logic because everything was arranged according to the bullet points. But at the same time, I had a couple of issues with the connectors in 2 instances. Moving on to the lexical resource. Yeah, the lexical resource, you saw some of the words. The range was quite okay. And not 9, not 8, 7. There were attempts to use some vocabulary like lucrative or a decent job that is respected, but not always with accurate execution. And the errors were quite a few, but they did not affect my understanding. The part that affected my understanding was grammar. And again, we had pretty much the same number of errors, and the errors also in punctuation, also in grammar, like some inaccurate use of would. Those elements were effective in the grammatical range and accuracy score. All in all, this letter is a healthy 6. Could it be better? Absolutely. I just needed a little bit, the tone is the first thing that I would change in this letter. Anyway, and until next time, I hope you work on your representatives to make sure they do their jobs well and take a very good care of yourselves.